Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Esoteric Influences for the 11th day of August 2020. Well, we have a spiritual warrior month and a master number 11 day and a 22 years, so I don't know how much more enlightened we could get. I mean, basically, it's all spirit coming in today and trying to say, hey, remember me? As we try to affect some profound change around here, either in our personal lives or collectively together. And I think clearly profound change is likely going to be necessary here going forward. But the master number 11 and the master number 22, we have an 11 day and a 22 year. We're talking about illumination and awakening and awareness that then's magnified into soul level change. And that's really what we're talking about today, especially with the spiritual warrior within, on the 8 energy, the leadership, and all of that we've been talking about. It really, that's why I'm really happy to include the human design stuff in here. It can either apply to our personal life, all this stuff, or it can apply to us collectively. And I think that what we've been seeing a lot with the human design aspect of the reading is that a lot of it is really geared toward what's happening collectively to us. And so I find that, in astrology is the same way. You can cast a chart for an event. You can cast a chart for, say, the beginning of a country, the forming of a country, or the forming of a government to see where it's going to go. So in other words, all of this stuff isn't just geared toward the individual. It can be geared towards society as well, or a group of people, or whatever you're casting it for. But today we're going to allow the spiritual warrior within to illuminate the path forward for others today. Use the master number energies of 11 and 22 to foster profound change from a soul perspective, as opposed to the ego perspective that seems to be driving so much of what's going on now in our world and in our life. Let's get the rune out for today. We have Othala. I'll draw that out for you guys as well. Let me get a piece of paper to do that on so that I don't have to do it on a Post-it. But we'll talk about it, though, while I get this ready. I thought I had one right here, but I don't know where it went. It's probably on the floor somewhere, and I can't see it. We'll put that one there for tomorrow. But Othala is an earth element rune. It's the 24th rune of the Elder Futhark, and so it's like we have finally come to the end of the journey in a way. But not exactly. It represents sacred space, ancestral heritage, the Akash, protection, prosperity, balance, loyalty. Let's see what else. Traditions, security, peace, inheritance, possessions. But realistically, it's what we've accumulated toward the end of our life here. We can kind of see it in the 10 of Pentacles, where you see that transition, that passage of time. If you're looking at the Rider-Waite deck, you'll see an older man with his dog, and then there'll be an archway, and then it looks like his kids, or maybe his son or his daughter and their spouse. The grandchild is there, and so you're looking at the passage of legacy, really. And in a sense, Othala is that, but it's all that we've accumulated. And if you think about the soul being here in these bodies, trying to accumulate all this awareness and knowledge to take back to the collective energy of source presence, well, then yeah, I mean, that's what you're doing. You're taking everything you've learned and combining it into Othala, and for the next go around, wherever that is. And I'll show you what the 2 main runes that comprise it. We're looking at Ingus, or Ingwas, however you want to say it, and Gebo. But look at what we have. The Ingwas, or Ingus, is the seed. It's the sudden expansion of energy. So if you think the seed and you water it and it comes to life and all of that, you think about that in terms of the soul focusing into form, into the body. And then you have Gebo, which is balanced energy exchange with others. So the idea of really not only living in balanced energy exchange with each other, but balanced energy exchange between spirit and ego. Yeah, we forget that, don't we? But what do we have contained within both? And I'll explode it here. We have Kenaz, the torch, or the light of spirit, informing everything within and without, above and below. around and all of that. That's the exploded version of Athala. All it is the light of spirit, the light of source presence, our soul's resonance that should be informing everything that's going on for us as we navigate life in physical form. But with all that in mind, you're reminded of tradition and legacy as you reach out to family and friends today. Family is our true sacred space and provides our greatest security during difficult and stressful times. So right now, while the pandemic is continuing, we don't know where that's going. We don't know where any of it's going, really. So I really think that we have to be very mindful of those that maybe we haven't talked to in a while. If we don't live around our parents, we don't live around our kids, around our siblings, give them a call. Check in with them, make sure they're doing okay. If there's anything, any advice you can give, any perspective you can give, if you can send them something through the mail while we still have a postal service. Can you believe that? Jeez. Again, Othala. We can't be doing stuff like that. That's going to come, and we're going to talk a little bit of that about that when we get down to the human design section of this. Again, it's going to be, I mean, it's going to have some reference to your own participation in things, but there's a collective nature to it as well. But for today, anyway, the moon is in Taurus still. Take time for yourself today if circumstances become too chaotic. I can remember my mother she was a Taurus, and she would just say, okay, I'm done. Don't talk to me. I'm done. This has been too crazy a day. I just need some time. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute, Especially when she was on oxygen toward the end of her life. That was her you knew everything had to stop when Mom said, give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. She had to breathe. She had to find her breath that she didn't have, right? She's on oxygen. Maybe she needed a breathing treatment. I don't know. Whatever it took. But it was like, give me a minute. So that's the Taurian. Give me a minute. Lean on someone close to you and receive their support with grace, which is sometimes hard for a Taurus to do. They want to be the one to do that. And now today they need to accept that from others. Allow the nurturer, in other words, to be the nurtured today. And that's Moon in conjunct Juno. In conjunct because, they really don't understand. The Taurian doesn't understand that, where they need to let someone else pamper them. I remember my mother used to say about her birthday, oh, it's just another day. It's like, well, no, I want to bake a cake. Let's do something. Oh, no, it's just another day. She wouldn't allow anyone to nurture her. And so when it came time then to have someone help her, it was hard for her to accept it, but she knew she didn't have a choice. And so, before we moved her up here, she was living in her own place over here in Central Oregon. She was living in the valley over in the Portland area in Gresham. And she sold her home and came over here because she wasn't well. And she really shouldn't have been alone. She needed to have someone around. My brother wasn't living there anymore. And so he was in another city at that point. He had gotten married, and so we needed to have her up here. She was still fine on her own, but we needed her up here, and so that we could, in case she needed help or something, that we would be there for her, and she wouldn't have to wait for us to drive 150 miles to get to her, right? So, but at that point, she finally realized that I need help, and I'm going to ask, and that's just that. And so she made that transition, but it took her getting really sick to do that. So again, allow yourself to be nurtured today if that's not something in your comfort zone, or if the moon in Taurus is sort of sending you in that direction. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out, and it's okay to accept things from others. So people just want to be there for other people right now. They want to feel like they've done something in a time where really, what can we do other than wear a mask and stay socially distant from one another? That's really all we can do right now. So in any event, let's move on to the human design section of the reading. Change is possible today if you avoid the tendency to, hear me now, fixate on your own perceptions and focus on the truth at hand. Let go of the past, but not before acknowledging the root causes of the problem. In other words, don't let the need for harmony prevent you from seeking a complete understanding of the situation, or the root cause is never going to be addressed. It's easy to skip over stuff, right? Oh, let's not talk about it. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. Oh, you mean that's in the past. Oh, yeah, I've heard it all. It's just, it's crap. Talk about what happened so it doesn't happen again, right? A collective understanding of the truth is necessary now so that all involved understand what has happened and what is now at stake, so that a rebalancing can occur. You know, when things get out of sorts, when things run amok, when chaos ensues, you have to find a way to rebalance that. And if you want to put the blinders on and you don't want to really talk about what really happened and who was involved, if it was a situation like that, it's like, okay, just you know, truth and reconciliation time. Just, what are you worried about? What are you afraid of? There'll be consequences? Well, maybe there needs to be. Don't be afraid of that. If consequences need to happen, problem is we try to massage everything and we put harmony before actually spending time revealing the truth and understanding the dynamic of what got you there to begin with. It's like the folks that will say, oh, just forgive and forget. Okay, but can we talk about what happened first so we know what it is we're forgiving and forgetting? Oh, no, we don't want it. No, there's no reason. Look, let's just move on, okay? Yeah, we've all been there, right? Let's not do that today. Let's dig in. Let's figure out exactly what happened so that we can prevent it from happening again. Don't let the fear of consequences or the fallout of the truth to interfere with getting there, because we need to get there today. So whether it's in your personal life or what we're all dealing with collectively with all the deception in our government, then I don't know. Either way, take the same approach. We got to figure out what's going on. At some point, if he loses this election, which it looks like he's going to, if everything, all the information is true, then we're all going to have to come down and Congress is going to have to do some kind of truth and reconciliation thing where we can figure out what happened and reconcile ourselves to what it all is so that we can move forward in a better way. If crimes have been committed, which in my view it looks like they have, but if that's the case, if crimes have been committed, then those who did so need to be prosecuted. And that's just that. If monies have been appropriated, misappropriated, if people have given outside actors accepted their help in trying to upend the country, well, we need to know that. We need to know who they are. We need to stop shoving all this under the rug. The idea of not giving a department, an agency not being able to testify in front of Congress, being told, oh no, we're not going to let you do that, well, that's designed to keep the truth from the people. So if you're involved in something like that in your personal life, I am actually, where truth doesn't seem to want to be revealed, but it has to be, and it will be, one way or another. See, that's the thing. One way or another, it all comes out. Someone opens their mouth, and pretty soon, everybody knows who did what. Well, it needs to all come out. Everybody needs to know who did what. Everyone does, right? So again, if this is happening in your personal life, I share your frustration. I really do. But if it's what's happening collectively, then you know we're all gonna have to look at this. You know, and I would hope that we start reconsidering and moving into the direction of rebalancing, even before the election happens. You know, we need to get on this track now. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and do the Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune after looking at this. And, you know, my computer didn't blip out on me. It did it on the Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune video too, though. But it was still there. It just got darker. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully we'll resolve it. But if not, I guess I better get another computer. Maybe I'll get one of those. I like my Mac laptop, so maybe I'll get a Mac desktop. They're just expensive, though. And I don't know. Anyway, I'd rather just stick with this. Then I have to load stuff on again. Oh my God. And get the Apple version of it. Oh geez, you know. Anyway, it's just, I don't need that. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another. Wear a mask if you go out. And blessed be.